welcome to Anderson Hall, home of New Student Services, which we were about to go inside and check out. New Student Services is responsible for the recruitment efforts of the university. So a lot of the prospective students that come on campus, New Student Services sees to it that they get their campus visit arranged and scheduled and make sure that they have a good time and everything like that. So what we'll go ahead and do is check out standard visual display terminal workstation here in New Student.
This is the computer workstation where the employee spends 80% of their time sitting working at a computer database.
Alright, so in total, the station stacked up pretty well, but there was first 4 methods that we went ahead to attack it with. So first method, we considered some different visual aspects and also dimension aspects. And from that, a few things we did find. The display was not tiltable, so you couldn't reduce glare that way. Also, the illumination was way too high. In fact, it was about 960 lux, when the standard range is about 300 to 500. So we were well above that, and so definitely something that needs to be taken care of. And the last thing too, the keyboard home row. It was way too high. In fact, one thing that we noticed throughout all the different methods is that our desk was too high, and so got to fix that. Now to you, Katie.
The next type of evaluation we used was the Workstation Investigation Checklist. It contains 3 subgroups of checklists, including the Total Worker Score, Workstation Design Physical, and Workstation Design Visual. The Total Worker Score includes the habits and position, and our subject scored a 12.5 on that. The physical aspect of the workstation design includes the work area, the chair, and the computer mouse, and he scored a 20 on that. And then the visual aspect of the workstation design includes the monitor only, which he scored a 2 on. So the total score was 34.5, which corresponded to a rating of good. Good indicates that we need some improvements, but not many. Now over to you, Drew.
Alright, so the third method that was used to evaluate the workstation was the checklist for posture and heights, which was developed by Richard A. Olson. So Dr. Richard Olson, we got to use his thing. First violation that we noticed, out of the 22, there was 7 that we noticed of violations. So the first one was arms vertical. The desk was way too high, and so that caused the elbows to be way out to be able to get on top of the work surface, so arms were definitely not vertical. Next, chair elbow rests were at the desk surface, which didn't allow for the chair to be able to go underneath the desk. So for handicap purposes, that's bad, but also to just not what you want to do. It keeps you away from the workspace. Wrist supports, there's a lack of them, especially since there's a lot of keyboarding going on. Also, adjustable keyboard, there wasn't an adjustable display, and there wasn't an adjustable support surface. So going back to the desk that supports it all, it needs to be adjustable. Also, elbow rests were not selected by operator, which really isn't realistic since there are so many operators. And also, display face was not tiltable. So.
The next evaluation type is the Principles of Workstation Design from our textbook. The violated principles at Tanner's workstation included avoiding static loads and fixed work postures. As Drew mentioned, everything was fixed, so there was no adjustability at all. Set the work height at 50 millimeters below the elbow. Tanner's workstation was up below his elbows, so it pushed his arms up instead of resting comfortably. And then the workplace lighting, as Drew said, it was 960 lux instead of between 300 and 500. If Tanner was to use a laptop computer, he would probably put it on the opposite side of his phone so that he would be able to have a windshield wiper type motion instead of reaching up and over the laptop or using the laptop as it is, because that's not very ergonomically sound either. The final evaluation that we had for the workstation was handicap accessibility. Tanner's desk was 29 inches tall. However, the handicap accessibility height requirement is 30 inches. The second shelf of Tanner's workstation was at a height of 49.5 inches, while that was in the handicap accessibility requirement of 54 inches, the inability to push his chair in to get to the shelf just totally negated that measurement altogether. And then the distance from his eyes to his screen is 28 inches instead of the recommended 20 to 24 inches, or the length of your arm.
overview everything, what we did is taking all those methods, we came up with a few simple recommendations to make the workspace better. So a few quick fixes that would be easy to do. First off, turn off the lights under the shelving units. There's 3 different sources of lights, so that's overhead lights, windows, and also lights that were under the shelving units. Since we're at 960 lux, turn those off because they're not necessary. They make it way too bright. Also, just go ahead and purchase some inexpensive wrist supports and elbow supports. And it'll take care of that. The elbow supports just make them shorter, so then you can be able to get in underneath the desk or get closer also to your workspace. Also, long-term goals, if they're looking to ever purchase new desks or also new monitors, make sure that they're adjustable height desks to be able to accommodate a lot of different workers, and also make sure, just go ahead and have a display that is tiltable to be able to reduce the glare.